Hello, grade 8. So, today we're continuing. We're moving on to volume. Last two lessons, we looked at surface area, total surface areas. And today we're looking at volume of rectangular prisms and also non-rectangular prisms, like other polygon-based prisms as well. But mainly we'll be looking at the volume of rectangular prisms. So, let's say we have a prism over here. It's nicely drawn. And then let's say the bottom over here is 12 meters. Let me make that a little bit bigger over here. This is 12 meters. And let's say that this over here is 8 meters. And then the height over here is 16, or let's say it's 10 meters. Okay, 10 meters. And so the volume of a rectangular prism, the volume V, I'm going to use V for volume, is going to be the base, the area of the base. That's going to be, I'm going to call it big B over here. That's going to be area of base multiplied by the height of the prism. Now this is a general formula for all prisms. It's for all prisms. Now note that the area of the base over here, let me quickly highlight this. The area of the base, which is going to be this over here, is equal to the base times the width times the length. So here B is equal to width times length. Okay, where the width is 12 meters, that's the width, that's the length, and then that's the height. Okay, that's the height over here, that's the length over here, and so you can say that the volume of a rectangular prism, so volume of a rectangular, I'm just gonna call it REC, rectangular prism, is going to be the width times the length times the height. You just multiply all three numbers. And so in this example, it's going to be 12 times 8 times 10. And so once you multiply that together, 12 times 8 is 96, times 10 is 960 cubic meters. Now, in area, once we multiply out the numbers, the unit will be squared centimeters, squared meters, square inches, square feet, because those are areas. Areas are in squares. But volume, the measurement, volume unit is cubed, meaning that it is either cm cubed or meter cubed. We have cubed inches or cubed feet and so on. The reason why is we have 12 meters times 8 meters times 10 meters over there. And so once you multiply the numbers, the units also multiply to each other. We have meter times meter times meter. So in the end, we have 3 multiplied to each other. That's going to be cubed. Okay, so make sure we write the correct unit. It has to be cubed for a volume. Okay, now let's quickly do another example. Quick example, I'm gonna just briefly sketch it out. We have a, oops, that's too ugly. Okay, like this. Okay, so let's say we have a rectangular prism with a length of, for the width of 4, a length of 5, and a height of 6 feet. And so we want to find the volume. So the volume of this rectangular prism is equal to 4 times 5 times 6. They're all feet, remember. So you might want to put feet and feet over here. I usually forget to write it down and then I just write it in the end, but it's a good practice to actually write down the actual units when you're multiplying. And so once you multiply them together, that becomes 4 times 5 is 20, 20 times 6 is 120. So it's going to be 120 cubed feet, okay, or feet cubed. So this is how we find a volume of a rectangular prism. That's very easy, okay? So, now, what about volume of a non-rectangular prism? So, over here, let me do a pentagonal prism over here, like that. Whoops, that's not nice. Like this. That still doesn't look too good. Okay, like that. That seems okay. Like that. Okay, so we have a pentagonal based prism, and so it tells us specifically that this, oops, let me do that again. Over here, this from the corner to the corner over here, from this left corner to the right corner, is 10 centimeters, and then this over here, this is 6 centimeters, and then it also gives us that this height, now it's going to be a little bit messy. I'm going to forget about the units for now. I'm just going to use the numbers. So this height up here is going to be 5 centimeters, and then this bottom height over here is 8 centimeters. Oh, I said I forget the units. So let's forget about the units for now. So remember how I said over here that the volume of any prism is the base area of the base times the height. And so what we have to do here in this pentagonal prism is we have to first find the area of the base. And so if I'm going to look at this pentagonal prism and just take the base out, let me just quickly take that base out over here and draw it like this. This pentagonal prism is separated into a trapezoid with base 110, base 2 of 6, and a height of 8, and then also a triangle with a base of 10 and a height of 5. And so the area of the base, so B, is equal to the area of the triangle, which is 10 times 5 divided by 2, base times height divided by 2, plus the area of the trapezoid, which is in bracket base 1 plus base 2, 10 plus 6, multiplied by the height, 8, all divided by 2. And so once you put them together, that's going to be 10 times 5 divided by 2 is 25, plus we have 10 plus 6, which is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8, times 8 will be 64. So we have 25 plus 64. Once you add them together, that's going to be 89 square units. Okay, so you can write squared units. So this is going to be the area of the base. Now we have to multiply it by the height, and I haven't given the height yet. Let's say that the height is 12 over here, and so that means that the volume V of this shape, this pentagonal prism, is equal to the area of the base, which is 89 squared units squared, multiplied by the height, which is 12 units. And then when you multiply them together, 89 times 12, use your calculators, I would get 1068. So volume is equal to 1068. And then we have units squared times units. And so once you multiply them together, that becomes units cubed. Okay, so that is the volume of a non-rectangular based prism. So we can use both ways to find the area of the volume of the rectangle, but for a non-rectangle, so for other bases such as triangular base, for pentagonal base, hexagonal based prisms, you have to first find the area of the base, and then you multiply, then you, okay, so first find the area of the base, and then 2, multiply by the height. Okay, so let's do another example. I'm gonna try to make this not too long. So we have here an triangular based prism. Like this, okay? And so this has this measurement over here is, let's say that this is a right angle triangle based, okay? It's a right angle triangle based prism, and so it is 8, and then this is, let me change it up. Let me do 5, and that's 3, and then we have a height of 10. So if you look carefully at this triangular based prism, you might think, okay, 5 times 3 divided by 2, base times height divided by 2. Look, this is a triangular right angle triangle. So if I'm going to copy this right angle triangle over here, the base, this actually looks like this. So we have a measurement of 5, we have a measurement of 3, and then which one is the base, which one is the height? 5 certainly is not the base, and so we're going to have to use Pythagoras theorem to find the other measurement, which is this unknown measurement over here. And so we're going to do 5 squared is equal to 3 squared plus x squared, and so 25 is equal to 9 plus x squared. Once you take the difference, you have x squared is equal to 16, and then once you take the square root of both sides, x is equal to 4. We found the other one, which is 4. So now that we have the measurement of the triangle, the base is equal to 3 times 4 divided by 2. That's base times height divided by 2 of the triangle, which is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6. Let me give them units. Okay, they're all cm now. So that's going to be 6 squared centimeters, cm squared. So that's the base. And so the volume is equal to the base times the height, which is going to be area of the base times the height, which is going to be 6 cm squared times 10 cm. And then that's going to give you an area, a total volume of 60 centimeter cubed, because we have centimeter squared times centimeter cubed. Okay, so that's it for today about volume. It's not too difficult. So in general, you just need to remember that the volume is equal to the area of the base. In a rectangular point of view, area of the base will be width times length, and then you multiply by the height. Okay, so your homework today, let me type it out here, if I can type. Homework. Nope. Can I type? No, then I'll just write it down. So, oh, it works now, kind of. Homework will be, let me just make it bigger first. Font size 18. So your homework will be exercise 12.5. Questions. We want to do 3, 7, and then let's do 12 and 13. And then let's do 16, 17, and then let's do 20, 22, and one last question of 28. So that's the homework for today. And I think that, oh, I forgot one thing. So one type of question, I'll just leave the homework over here so you can copy it later. One thing I forgot to mention is if a rectangular prism's volume is given to you and you are asked to find the height of the prism. So this is what we'll have to do. So let's say that the volume of a rectangular prism, let me just quickly sketch it out. Like this. So the volume of this, so V is given to you. The volume is 1,440 millimeters cubed. Okay, and then it tells us that the width and the length is 24 and 10. So the width is 24, the length is 10 millimeters. And so it says find the height. So volume, remember the equation, V is equal to base times the height, the area of the base. And so the area of the base, or we can just put in width times length because this is a rectangular one, width times length times height. And so let's put in the numbers that we already know. Volume 1440 is equal to, width is 24 times length is 10 times the unknown height over here. And so we have 1440 is equal to 240 times the height. And then once you divide both sides by 240, 1440 divided by 240, we have the height is equal to 6 millimeters. Okay, so that's how we find an unknown height with a given volume. So I've covered all the examples, so the rest I'll leave you to do the homework. That's it for today, and I'll see you next lesson.